Alright peeps, Q here, down at the SaturdayMorningGarage.com. We make your restoration a total frustration. Alright guys, you know what that's all about. A little satire for you this morning. But now we're going to get down to business. So I'm going to put together this little video for you on how to do this Mustang Steve hinge rebuild. And it's a very, very worthwhile thing to do for your door hinges. These are the stock hinges, and you can see that they have just a small oil light bushing here. This one here with a pin like this. And even though you can replace these, over time they constantly wear out. And so you're constantly chasing this. It's been my experience. I've done a bunch of them this way, and they always seem to come back worn out. They don't stand the test of time. So we're going to do the Mustang Steve hinge rebuild kit, and what he gives you is a super heavy duty insert. And the beauty of this setup is the hinge pin now has a Zerk fitting with a tube that allows you to put a grease gun on and grease these things. So these will last the life of the car. They also give you a heavy oil light bushing. It's a really nice setup. And you need a couple of things. You need a 3/8 drill bit, you need a 1/2 inch drill bit, and I like to use this step bit right there. That's what they call a unibit or a step bit. So the first thing you need to do, you need to get the hinges off the car. Now if you're doing a full restoration like me, not a problem. But if your car is all together, it's going to be a little trickier and take a little more elbow grease. And the way that you're going to do this so that you don't disturb the door alignment that you have, and this is going to be for a car that's painted, it's together, and you want to do this conversion, this is how you're going to do it. You're going to leave the door closed, you got to take off the wheel, and you got to take off this splash shield inside the fender, and that's going to allow you access to the hinge pillar and the bolts that go this way into the door. Now to make it a little easier, they do make a tool for actually getting in here, and it's basically a curved box wrench. But what you can do is you can buy yourself a cheap China wrench, you can take a propane torch, you can heat it up, and you can bend it in that type of shape, and it's going to make it a lot easier for you to get at the hinge pillar bolts. Alright, and you're only going to do one at a time. So your choice, you can do the bottom first or the top. You take one out, you do your conversion, you put it back in. Then you move to the next one. This way it's not going to disturb your alignment of the door. 99% of the time the door will stay where it is when it's latched if you do it the way I'm telling you. Alright, so we're going to get busy on this, and we're going to show you how this is done. And the first step, you're going to need to get the hinge apart, and that's real simple. This pin here just pops right out. You know, you're probably going to have to hammer it. You hammer that pin out, and voila, the hinge comes apart. Then what you need to do is you need to get these bushings out. And an easy way to do that is just get a drill bit that's a touch bigger than this, and it'll spin it right out for you. We already did this one. And boom. So you need to get the hinges apart the way I just told you. Now we went ahead and we bead blasted these hinges, as you can see. And another thing that you want to do is you want to check on this particular hinge that has the spring and the rollers, and just give it a once over, take a look, see if there's any problems. On this particular one, a common problem is the roller where it's pinned on the bottom comes loose over time. So you can see that this wobbles. So we're going to take care of that. We're just going to hold that down where it belongs, and then we're going to put a tack weld there, smooth it out. But one of the most problematic spots is the actual spring here where the rollers ride, and you can see here where it wore down the metal. And so what we're going to do to fix this is we're going to add some metal with the MIG welder, and then we're going to smooth it out completely so that it's the same shape. We're going to put the metal back. I hope you can see this right here. Alright, so we're going to get busy on this, and we're going to fix these two spots first. And then the next step is you need to drill out on the hinge body part. This is the hinge body that mounts to the pillar. These two holes need to be drilled out to a 1/2 inch. Now what I'm going to do is, this is where the unibit comes in. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drill these out probably up to about one spot before a 1/2 inch. And this way here we're going progressively instead of trying to hog out a 1/2 inch hole, which is probably going to egg it out, keep it off center. We want to keep these on center. So we're going to just progressively go like this till we get close, and then we'll go ahead and finish off with the 1/2 inch bit. So we're going to get this stuff done, and then we'll come back and we'll show you the next step. Okay guys, so we're back at you. Just want to show you what we did here. And so I went ahead, I tacked that. The roller that I showed you was loose, and just for good measure I went ahead and tacked the other one. It had a little bit of wiggle to it, so I figured I might as well do it. And then on this one where I showed you the spring, I added metal. And so we're going to go ahead now and shape it now that we've got that spot fixed. Ooh, that's still hot. Alright, and we went ahead already and we drilled out the body. You can see this one. We got it real close using that unibit. Next step, we're going to shape this stuff up, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to drill through with the 1/2 inch bit. Alright, we'll come back at you as soon as we get that done.